All right, and joining us in studio once again for the sports section of our show is Andrew McGrath. Drew, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. Now, again, like last week, not a lot of sports has gone on.
No. We did, though, say root for the Bandits to win.
And they won?
Yep.
Which I'm going to assume is all us.
Yeah, it was,
I mean, I know that
it was like the last 30-plus minutes. So it was the whole second half, and I think it was 3 or 4 minutes into with the first half left.
Right.
Of the second quarter or period or whatever it is.
Right.
That was the last time they scored.
So I know that there are 17 to 19,000 fans at every game. Buffalo Bandits regularly sell out their games, which is weird for a lacrosse team.
Yeah.
But they regularly sell out the games. And like I said, I know that there are nearly 20,000 fans at every game, but I'm going to give the win to us. Sure. I think that it was our good wishes.
Sure. Yeah. Because we kind of...
congratulations for that.
Yeah, we kind of said it,
Definitely, yeah.
Talked it into existence.
Now, that said, I know a lot of people will feel personally responsible for a team's win or loss because they wore the right socks or didn't wear the right socks or, the hat that they wore, or they didn't have a bagel that, whatever.
All the superstitions.
All the superstitions. Now, I don't know that I really have any superstitions. I don't even wear, Bills gear to watch Bills games. Usually I do, but it's not like a rule. Sometimes I don't. So I am not particularly superstitious when it comes to me affecting sports teams. What about you?
No. If there's a game on, I'll obviously wear something.
Right. But just not because you feel
for football, just because it's showing support
because you want people to know that you're a Bills fan.
Right.
You don't want them to think that you're there rooting for the Jets.
But it's hard with baseball though, because there's so many games. It's right. I don't want to have to put on a jersey or something or a T-shirt
162 times a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other sports stuff that's gone on has been very much behind the scenes. I know that the Bills have their OTAs. James Cook decided not to show up,
which is perfectly fine in my opinion.
It's
optional.
I'm not thrilled about it. But we can talk about that in a little bit. Of course, Josh Allen got married on Saturday.
Yep.
Now, I'm a little upset, to be completely honest with you.
Why is that?
Well, because I got married last Sunday, and
I don't know. I think that possibly happened.
And I feel that Josh Allen has stolen all the thunder from my marriage.
No one cared.
I think that my wedding, because Josh Allen was also getting married, I don't think that it got the public support and recognition that it deserved.
No one cared.
What do you mean no one cared?
Exactly. Enough said.
Drew, they can't see how ugly you are.
I know.
On the radio. But, so no. All right, so obviously we didn't get a chance to talk.
Shots fired.
Yeah, so speaking of shots, we'll talk about that. So, backing up, talking about my wedding. Because, we didn't really do this last week because we had pre-recorded, because we didn't know what was going to happen. But, so, my wedding was May 25th. It was a Sunday. We got married in a beautiful park, and then had the reception back at our house. We actually had 2 receptions, one for family, one for friends. Now, my nephew came in from out of state, from Baltimore. He didn't come in for my wedding. He came in because it was his birthday, and he wanted to spend it with his immediate family, his mom and his brothers, etc. But did come to the wedding on Sunday and spent most of the day there. Now, a couple years ago, the River Pub on Buffalo Avenue here in Niagara Falls, owned by Billy Jones, who I used to go to school with, and his lovely wife, Kelly, they introduced us to a beverage called Shanky's Whip. It is a whiskey. Yeah, it's a whiskey liqueur. It tastes nothing like whiskey. Anyway.
It's weird. It's weird too for a whiskey, not even to have any taste of whiskey.
It is very, very smooth, which makes it dangerous, of course. Anyway, so a few months ago, my now wife bought a big bottle and then bought another big bottle. We bought all of our own alcohol for the wedding because we were having it at our house. And over time, I've been going through the one bottle, but we had like a bottle and a half left. Anyway, long story short, everyone who tries this loves it. And my nephew was like, this is the best stuff. So after the wedding, like the next day, he texted me. He's like, hey, what was that stuff called? So I told him. And he's like, his boyfriend, Thomas, his wedding was this past, or his birthday, I should say, was this past weekend. So he bought a bottle for his birthday. And my nephew, Jake, texted me a picture. He's like, I found it. And then the day of the birthday party, texted me, he's like, we ran out.
Nice.
And so now one of his friends in Baltimore is like, I got to get some of this. So thanks to Billy Jones from the River Pub, this Shanky's Whiff, which is a whiskey liqueur, it is delightful, I just got to say. It's kind of a shame that you couldn't have any, Drew, but I understand that sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yes.
But the rest of us definitely had your share and probably then some.
Yes.
So.
Oh yeah, that bottle was gone. Probably a good 10 minutes.
And literally everybody who's had it has been like, wow, this stuff's amazing. So my nephew has now passed it on to one of his other friends from Baltimore. So all because of Billy Jones. They should.
Well, Anthony was the one that actually told Billy and Kelly.
Antho?
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, and then
Antho or Anthony Barak was a bowling team member of ours. He was also at the wedding, and I'm pretty sure that he did have some of the Shanky's Whip, and he finished off something else. I don't remember what it was, but yeah. However, we do have like 6 cases of like Bud Light and Blue Light and like Coors Banquet beer. we overestimated the amount of crappy beer that people were going to drink. So now we have to have like we're going to have a block party with our neighbors from the street, and just so that we can try to get rid of some of the bad alcohol.
Yeah, I think like once like craft beers like really started taking off, like especially within the last 3 to 5 years, I don't think domestic beers are really like as big anymore.
My wife's father bought all the beer for us, which was like obviously so nice. Yeah. Because like they came home with like 6 cases of beer, but it was all like Blue Light, Miller, Coors, Yuengling was the most. Was the most exciting of the beers that they brought home.
See, I've had Coors before, the banquet one. It's not bad.
Again,
all those to me
right.
though, like that one would be the one I would right. probably prefer to drink if I was drinking at that time.
Right. Anyway, a good time was had by all. But
yeah, it was good.
But now Josh Allen went and like superseded it, and so I'm kind of mad.
Well, at least you got your gift was cool though.
Which gift?
The boards.
Oh, the cornhole.
Yeah.
So we had told people very specifically no gifts. I'm 50, she's 47. We really have everything we need.
Yeah.
So we told people no gifts. We had about 100 people, and the vast majority of them completely ignored our wishes and gave us things. But my wife's uncle made us a Buffalo Bills cornhole set, and so that was pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
We played some cornhole out in the rain.
Yeah.
Because it did rain a lot on Sunday.
Yeah.
Which is awesome when you've got 100 people at your house, because most of it we spent inside. But we did play some cornhole out in the rain. The wife and I played cornhole the following day.
Okay.
And neither one of us is very good at it. So we need to practice a lot more. But that's a whole other issue.
Well, yeah.
So back to the Steinfeld wedding. So Mr. and Mrs. Steinfeld got married yesterday.
Wow, you go. It's not Alan. You're that bad.
I'm sorry, not yesterday, but Saturday. I don't even know what day it is. Anyway, so they got married on Saturday. And it was a star-studded event. I saw a thing in the news today of some of the people that were there. Have you seen a list of like who all was there?
No, but I seen like there was a couple. So Gabe Davis was there, former Bill. Deion Dawkins, obviously, and Dawson Knox and Mitch Trubisky.
Mitch surprised me. I thought that was cool though. Larry David was there.
Wow.
which I did not expect. So this was the one that really shocked me, was that Larry David was at this wedding. Now, Larry David, for those of you who don't know, is the guy behind Seinfeld.
Right.
Not Steinfeld, but Seinfeld. I don't know. There's something weird there, right? And also Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, I think those are the two biggest ones.
Yeah. Anyway, but that was the big Hollywood name there, or at least the big Hollywood name that came out. But sounds like the happy couple, they got their rings. Now hopefully Josh can get another one this year.
Yeah. Oh, you seen that joke?
Yeah. I agree. I thought it was a good joke, which is why I restated it as though it were my own.
Finally got its ring. Yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the wedding? Not either wedding, really.
Don't really care about that wedding, If now he's at peace and he plays better, okay.
Right.
The only thing that matters is the last game of the year and if you win it, honestly. All
right, so on the relationship front, continuing in football, did you see the Steph Diggs news?
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
And
you know what? They go so well together. Now, for those of you who might not have heard, it came out that Steph Diggs and Cardi B are quote-unquote Instagram official, which I guess means that they're a couple. Now...
Oh, you're talking about that. I thought you were talking about the other part of his...
What other part?
He got, he's possibly in trouble with the Patriots in the league for something containing either some sort of pink cocaine or
I didn't.
Bath salts. Yeah, it's pink bath salts or something like that. That
interesting. I did not hear about that.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought you were talking about.
I was talking about the Cardi B thing.
I don't pay attention to that stuff.
Well, it's just so Steph Diggs, when he came in to the team, everybody was so excited. He lit it up. Him and Allen got along great.
He was a really good player for us.
But then there was the drama. And I just feel like Cardi B is 100% drama. So I do feel like they go well together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't care.
All right. So continuing on with that, Drew, you're doing a great job of helping out the show today.
I know.
You're going, I don't have any opinions on anything.
Yeah. Question for you. I
could just get a new hamster and they could sit there. And not
probably. You probably could. So I sent you the trailer for Happy Gilmore 2.
All right, so wait, we'll go there, but first I want to. So I'm going to leapfrog off of Steph onto James.
Okay.
And this is my big problem with the James Cook thing. You've already got a contract. Play the fucking contract.
Okay, now though,
and it's drama that we don't need. Can we have a season that doesn't have drama? Can we win a fucking Super Bowl?
Right.
But no, we can't, because one person decides that he's worth, and I'm not saying he's not, but he's got a contract.
See, that's tough.
When you've got a contract with a company, you can't go, I know that that I told you that I would work here for $50,000 a year for the next 5 years, but 4 years in, I've decided that I am worth double that, and if you don't pay me, I'm just not going to come to work anymore. The contract holdouts drive me nuts.
Okay.
And yes, the Bills could probably afford it. I know Allen wants them to pay him, but can we just have a year without some fucking controversy?
I get that. I get that aspect of it, but now it's you get all these complaints and everything.
So all the respect that I have gained for James Cook over the years, it's gone.
Okay, so to me, yeah, he had a really good year last year, and he had a decent year the year before. It'll all work out if he has another really good year again. But I doubt he will, because I don't think that the team's going to put him in a position to, because then that's going to mean that they're going to have to pay his price. But now, in defense of him, he had a really good year. Now, if a guy doesn't perform or underperforms, they either want to reduce your salary or cut you. Restructuring contracts to help the team save money and everything like that. Basically, they're trying to tell you that because you're not performing,
I'm pretty sure every time I've seen a contract restructured, the player still gets the same amount of money. They just get it differently. They might get it over a longer period of time, or they might get some up front versus...
Sure. But
never does the player get screwed.
Well, but they could also get cut, though. they could get cut, which is
But they're still under contract. They still get paid.
a portion.
So the team pays a portion, and then the new team pays a portion.
If that team, if the guy gets picked up, right? Yeah. I can see it's a business, that's all.
Sure, it's a business,
right? And that's what it all boils down to. In all regards to the matter, as long as he produces and everything like that. Right now, it's an optional team workout, organized team activities,
right?
Not mandatory. Okay. My thing would be
I get that.
now.
I do get that.
Now, to me, it becomes a problem. June 10th to the 12th. Right, that's the mandatory.
Now, do you expect him to show up for the mandatory? Because I don't.
I do.
I don't.
I think he's going to show up.
Not with what he's posting on his social media.
I think he's showing up, but he's not going to participate.
I don't know. At this point, I just want to cut him. I'm done. Like, I'm so sick of these millionaires whining about how little money they have. Well, normal people are just happy to have a damn job.
Yeah.
And look, I love football. I love sports in general. I love millionaires, especially ones that play. What I don't love is people deciding suddenly that they're more important than basically the rest of the team, and that is what I have seen. That is how this comes across to me.
Yeah, I get that aspect of it.
I cut him right now.
So that's my thing. It's like if he does the whole thing of like a hold in, basically show up but not participate. Now, to me, that's the bigger deal.
Right.
Him not showing up for OTAs and whatever, and him saying what he's saying right now is fine. Okay, I get it. Last year was contract. He wasn't a first round. He wasn't a first round pick.
Right.
So he doesn't get that 5th year option like a lot of guys do. So that's just basically how that collective bargaining agreement worked out. Unfortunately for him, but
All right. Well, if he does get cut from the team, maybe he'll become a pro golfer.
Nice leading to that. Yeah, so I think I was messing around on Facebook, and you know how like sometimes you scroll and they got the videos and everything like that.
Every time I scroll through Facebook, they have videos. And here's the thing: if I want to listen to the video, there's never any volume. If I don't want to listen to the video, it immediately starts blaring as I'm scrolling by.
Yeah.
That's the algorithm that Facebook has really perfected.
I know. It's weird. But yeah.
So you saw this thing from Netflix.
Yeah.
Because Netflix had this event the other day, and I don't remember what it was called, but they basically outlined all the new shows and movies that are coming out this year.
Happy Gilmore 2.
Happy Gilmore 2. Now, so Drew sent me this clip of it, and it was like a couple minutes maybe.
I think it was like a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Yeah, so it was a preview. And I watched it. Now, we had heard that there was going to be a Happy Gilmore 2 last winter, maybe?
I think it was we heard about it last year, actually. And Christopher McDonald was at the Seneca Casino.
Right. I remember you sending me a picture, and you're like, Shooter McGavin's here. And I thought that this was like a nickname that you had for one of your friends or something, until I'm like, oh, shit, that's really him. Anyway, and then, so right around the time that was, and I want to say this is like November-ish, maybe? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Right around the time that was, it also came out on social media that he said that there was going to be a Happy Gilmore 2, which was then confirmed by Sandler? It was confirmed by somebody shortly thereafter. So, for a while now, several months, we've been talking about, or considering the fact that there would be a Happy Gilmore 2, and I've been scared because it's been 30 years. The first movie was really good, and I was afraid that they were going to ruin it. But I saw the preview, and
Did it look bad?
It did not look bad. Now
the preview,
it could still be bad.
Yeah, but for a preview though, on a scale of 1 to 10. I would say it was like about a 5 or a 6, so it wasn't like super high expectations in the previews, which they normally do.
Right.
But no, it was kind of like, okay, I would tune into it.
Right. So I will definitely watch it on Netflix because it's on Netflix, so we don't have to go to the movie to see it, which is good. So I will definitely watch it on Netflix. So it's got Adam Sandler is back, and he is it's now. So he's 30 years older than he was in the last movie, and he is basically retired, still driving a crappy car. And his daughter
the same exact car.
Was it the same car? I wasn't positive. I had a feeling it was, but I wasn't positive.
Or, well, no, I think it actually, well, it's the same color, basically.
Gotcha.
And, yeah.
But his daughter wants to, like, go to ballet school or something like that.
And he's got to afford ballet school.
And it's $75,000 a year. Now, clearly, he saved none of the money from his golf from his early years.
Right, and
now he's got to go back and play golf to win money so that his daughter can.
His girlfriend was an executive on the tour, so, like, I don't know.
You would think that they would still have a little bit of money left over.
Right.
But apparently they did not.
Right.
Which, you know what? I understand.
Right. Well, economy now, like, you know.
I feel seen. So he's got to go back and play golf, and then, you know, he is Happy Gilmore. He is who he is. He's not very, well, I can't say that he isn't very good, but he's definitely not conventional, and so he gets the fans, and it has the same feels, but it's a different premise, although it is kind of the same premise. Before he was trying to raise the money to save Grandma's house or whatever.
Right.
Now he's trying to raise the money so that his daughter can go to ballet school. Anyway, long story short, it doesn't look horrible.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, according to the preview, like, if you watch the preview, it looks like it's like, okay, I can tune into it. Yeah.
If you have not seen the preview, I do suggest that you watch it, although not now. Wait until the show's over.
Okay, so speaking of that, it came, a question popped into my head after sending that to you.
All right, is this your question?
Yes.
All right. So every week, either Drew asks me a question or I ask him a question. Last week, I asked him if he had to name a kid after a Western New York community, what would it be? And I don't remember what he said.
For a girl, it was Aurora.
Right.
For a boy, Alan.
Yeah, and those both make sense. But and I said Lewiston.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah.
So this is Drew's question. He's going to ask me. And if you want to answer yourself, you can do so on any of our socials. Facebook, X. We do the Blue Sky. We're obviously on YouTube. So we would love to hear your thoughts on this question as well.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an option. There's Format A or Format B.
Okay.
Format A, top 3, or option B, top 5.
Let's just go top 3.
Your favorite or top 3 sports movies that you either like or watched or whatever.
All right, top 3 sports movies. I got to go probably Major League at number 1, Caddyshack at number 2, and Moneyball at number 3.
Okay.
Obviously, Major League and Caddyshack, both of the same era.
Yes.
They were late 80s, early 90s comedies. Moneyball, was that 15 years ago or so it came out?
Yeah, it was Brad Pitt, yeah.
And Moneyball wasn't really about baseball, but it was. And it just, so for me, what Moneyball did was it made me look, honestly, the biggest thing I got out of Moneyball was, holy shit, Jonah Hill can act. Mm-hmm. Because prior to that, he had always just been a goofball.
Yeah.
He was great in that movie.
It kind of, but I think what was a fascinating part of that movie, it actually allowed people to see, like, the business side of how sports work.
Right.
So that was kind of a cool aspect of it.
Moneyball, I get, you got, like, your YouTube shorts or Instagram shorts or Facebook, like those, 60-second videos that show you, like, a part of something. I will frequently get clips of Moneyball on mine. And every time I do, I'm like, I should rewatch that. But I probably just watched it less than a year ago. But I get those for a lot of movies.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay. So,
by the way, before we do that, what do you think of my list? Solid?
Major League is one of my favorite.
Right. You also like Major League 2.
I do.
Which I'm not a huge fan of.
Okay, because the reason why I like 2 is because to me, like, Omar Epps just gave it a different vibe to the character that Wesley Snipes played.
Right.
And the fact that, Tom Berenger is now the manager, so it's being a player and now, like, all of a sudden have to do that, it's like, okay, yeah. So it was just, like, unique in that aspect, but, like, also, like, the whole rivalry with Parkman where he was on a team and he was off the team because of Roger Dorn and all that, made bad business moves.
Right.
Yeah, financially, so, yeah. But I appreciate Caddyshack. Always a classic. Chevy Chase and Bill Murray. Can't go wrong there. Rodney Dangerfield.
Miss it and miss it.
Right. Moneyball, yeah, okay. Yeah. So me, Remember the Titans.
Love Remember the Titans. Little heartstringy though. I don't want heartstrings in my sports movies.
Yeah. Any Given Sunday.
Okay. Pacino.
Yep. And Jamie Foxx, yep. And honestly, Miracle.
The hockey movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Based on the Olympic team.
The 1980 Olympic team, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Just because
I did not imagine that coming from you.
Because I thought it was very well done.
Right.
And Kurt Russell to me.
I expected some stupid shit like The Replacements.
No. Although I do enjoy it, but like it's not my one of my favorites. But like no, like Miracle, because it was very, in my opinion, it was very, very well done. Like
right.
And Kurt Russell playing Herb Brooks and everything, and trying to be this guy that like not everybody was famous and synonymous with,
right?
But only for that one moment.
Gotcha.
And it was, and just that kind of call of like Al Michaels' voice and everything. So yeah.
The one thing that I think is funny about that movie, and not just the movie, but what it's based on, is so that was almost 50 years ago. That was 45 years ago, and in many people's minds, we won the gold, and that was us winning the gold.
When we beat the USSR, no, right?
But it wasn't. It was that was just us beating Russia. But
that was right.
Such a big deal.
That was the semifinal game, actually, because then we actually had to beat Sweden for the gold.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because it's hard to imagine if you're under the age of say 30 what the rivalry between the United States and Russia was.
Yeah.
And specifically, I really feel like 1980 was like that was the turning point. Not the turning point, but that was the pinnacle.
For hockey, and then
early '80s, and then we got
there was the basketball where the college players lost to the USSR,
right?
Everything. So
at the time, everything was the U.S. and Russia.
Right.
We got Miracle. We got, and I'm almost surprised you didn't mention any of the Rocky movies in yours, because we got, was it Rocky IV with Ivan Drago?
Yeah, 4 is very good. 4 is very good. I've also seen the Creeds as well. I haven't seen 3. I haven't seen Creed 3 yet.
I saw the first Creed. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it enough to watch the second one.
Yeah, I watched the first one and the second one. To me, though, like the whole Rocky franchise, kind of like after 4, kind of went downhill.
Right. But it
was Rocky 5, Rocky Balboa,
it didn't matter because by that point, Sylvester Stallone had made his mark.
Yeah.
Like I kind of love that story because he pitched this script. And they're like, we love it. Like, who can we get to play Rocky? He's like, no, I'm playing Rocky. And, like, they're like, but you can't act for shit. And they were right. Like, he can't act for shit. But I do love some of his movies.
But like, that role kind of fit him.
It did.
Yeah, like, you could, like, that, like, rugged Italian guy that, like, probably grew up with a hard life.
Overall, the Rocky franchise, the Rocky movies and then the Creeds, I mean, we ought to be talking billions of dollars, right?
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Yeah.
And then on top of that, he went on to play Rambo. He was in Judge Dredd. He was in Demolition Man.
Expendables franchise.
The Expendables franchise. I mean, I can't imagine the amount of money that he made just from that, having written this one script that he was like, and had he just written the script, he probably would have made a couple $100,000 and, died homeless. But, because he really stuck to his guns, he ended up who he is.
Yeah. Yeah, so that, because it's sending that trailer.
All right, so your list again is?
So I said, Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans, Any Given Sunday.
And Miracle.
And Miracle. All right. Decent, not bad. So if you would like to tell us what your top 3 favorite movies, sports movies are, we'd love to hear it. Maybe in another week we'll talk about just movies, which is, I had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day about, like, your favorite movies, and, like, I could say, like, oh, this is my favorite movie, and be talking about 6 or 7 different movies. It just depends on my mood, the day of the week, what I had for dinner. But I have at least half a dozen quote-unquote favorite movies.
I don't think I really have like one set favorite movie.
Well, you know what? It was Nick. It was Nick Lucido. Because he was commenting on my
Hawks, yeah. So I don't
the interview with Nick coming up after this, by the way.
I don't think I have like one favorite movie. I have a lot of movies that I like, and I can watch them over and over again.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Well, that's going to do it for Drew. Drew, get the hell out of here.
All right.
But no, so that's going to do it for this portion of the show. We're going to play some music, and when we come back, we will have Nick Lucido, and he and I are going to do... All right, so number one, Nick was supposed to sit in that chair that you're in for half an hour, right?
Okay.
A little over an hour later, I'm like, get out. So the Nick interview is a little longer than we normally do, and it is all over the place. So definitely stick around if you're listening on the podcast and you just decided that you wanted to listen to the Drew portion of the podcast, because Drew, I split the podcasts up, and the Drew portion of the podcast week for week has been the most popular part.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, which shocks me because I find you boring as shit.
Thank you.
But so if you're listening to the podcast, definitely make sure that you listen to the Nick Lucido part, because it is a very fun and interesting interview. I'm Scott Leffler. He is Andrew McGrath. Dude, we didn't even talk about the Niagara Falls Americans.
Oh yes. So their season opener is Friday.
Well, the season opener is tomorrow, Wednesday.
Well, the home
opener is Friday.
Yeah.
And I'm a little conflicted because I just got from the casino free tickets to Buddy Guy.
Oh, okay.
And
no, but anyway, yeah.
You have no respect for Buddy Guy, blues legend Buddy Guy.
He's okay.
I mean, he is 90, but
that's is it the same Buddy Guy? That's a problem. Yeah.
I feel like Buddy Guy at 90 is still probably really good. Anyway, but that doesn't start until 8, so I think I may go to the first part of the baseball.
We could probably go and then just like
we should. I said I got tickets.
No, not the Buddy Guy.
Right.
No, I'm saying to the Americans.
To the Americans game.
Yeah, so we could probably go. Catch a few innings, see how the team does.
Well, I'm thinking leave your ass there so that you can report on the game for all Western Europe.
I could do that. Yeah, I could do that.
I'll just go to the concert.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't even know where that was going.
Awesome.
Long story short. Music, commercial, we'll be back. I'm Scott Leffler. He's Drew McGrath. You're listening to Here's the Thing on All Western New York Radio.